course, despite the fact that you have been minister just for some weeks, you were chairing the Foreign Affairs and European Affairs Committee of Parliament, and I know that you had a very active role there. Therefore, you do not, you are not a novice, certainly, in what has been happening on the EU level, and particularly on how Malta has been throughout these past years, involving itself within the institutions of the European Union. So it gives me, it's an honor for me, and indeed I'm sure we are all interested to listen, to hear what you have to say now on the Irish presidency, and obviously on how Malta is envisaging its role in the coming months as a member of the European Union.
Well, thank you, Vanni, Your Excellencies, Permanent Secretary, distinguished guests. If you will allow me, before proceeding to this text, of course I would like first and foremost to apologize to the board president for not being able to have been present earlier from the very beginning. Not coping with the cabinet meeting and this session at the same time obviously causes some time management issues. But I'm glad to be here at the end. And if I can be also allowed to refer to questions that have been voiced at the end, obviously I could not follow those earlier, I would like to obviously reassert that Malta gives very special importance to the earliest possible conclusion with regard to discussions concerning the multi-annual financial framework. We do believe that it is in Europe's own interest, apart from the Malta perspective, to have an agreement in that regard as early as possible. And we should note, of course, positively that substantial progress has been made at the last summit, at the last meeting in this regard. Some could speculate that it was just a question of maybe a bit more time that was required for a final deal to be reached there. So hopefully the groundwork, even of course one cannot talk of a complete deal before a deal is reached, but hopefully the groundwork and the progress achieved so far could lead to as early as possible of a conclusion in that regard.